So I grew up in church, right? And my mom was a children's pastor, so usually every Sunday we went to church. And when you're young, you don't really have that many problems in life. I mean, at least it wasn't for me. Um, so going to church and having everything put together, and having a nice tie, one of those clip-on ones, wasn't really a problem. But it wasn't really until I got into my teens that I started encountering these issues that started to become harder to go to church and do that. And so I started, coming up with these things with issues with friends, issues with what my friends were doing that I didn't really necessarily want to do. But what started to happen was I started to have this conflict of appearances, I guess you could say, in that, it seemed that everybody at church had everything put together and everyone dressed nice, and if you would have asked them how their week was going, they would have told you that everything was great. And so what I started to find was that I wasn't like them, that my week wasn't so great sometimes, and that my life wasn't all put together. And I'm not sure where it started, but I feel like that's what a lot of people feel, is they feel they can't come to church or they can't interact with people who are Christians because these people have their lives put together and we don't. And I think what I would like to say, and I think what needs to be said, is that the Bible doesn't say that at all. To be quite honest, the Bible really is quite opposite of that. Jesus is talking to his disciples one day, and he says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And what Jesus seems to imply there is, hey, listen, I know your life's not messed up, and I know you got things that you're struggling with, and things aren't perfect. But come to me, because I can give you rest. This is quite an interesting concept because, like I was saying, a lot of people feel like they have to have everything put together. Their life needs to be perfect, and they can't have any mess ups or anything in their life. But Jesus seems to say, when he's inviting people to come to him, he's saying, listen, I acknowledge and I know and I feel those things. Hebrews says that we have a sympathetic high priest who can sympathize with us in our pains and our struggles. And so really the Bible kind of portrays this picture that I think Jesus expects us to come to him with our struggles and with our pain, and that we don't have to put up this fake facade of everything's together and life is perfect and you've got a smile glued to your face. That sometimes it's not really the picture, is it? And I think when we start going that direction, I think what starts to happen is people start to say, well, I'm going through this, but it's not anything compared to what this guy's going through, or it's not anything compared to this guy. And I think the truth is it's not a contest. This life's not about who's got the worst pain. I remember hearing a phrase, and it's so true and it's so simple, but it's just pain is pain. And whatever you're going through, if it hurts, man. No one's going to deny you of that. Yeah, maybe what you're going through isn't what's going on in the Sudan, but it still hurts. And you still need grace just as much as those people need grace. And so I think where the Bible speaks into this, and where Matthew 11:28 speaks into this, is that Jesus knows that, man. And in order there for it to be a genuine relationship, an authentic relationship with him, he says, man, tell me the stuff that's going wrong with your life. Tell me what you're struggling with, because I want to know there, and I want to give you relief from that. So here's the other crazy thing about pain, is if I offered somebody a choice between having a back massage or getting picked with a needle for an hour, a lot of people would pick the massage unless you're really kind of weird. But the funny thing is that some people choose to revel in that pain. They choose to sit and to continue in that pattern, in that motion. And I think the reason is because we know it, because we understand that pain, we understand the situation, we understand those relationships, and to go outside of that would be unfamiliar ground. And so I think the other message of Matthew 11:28 is that Jesus says, give it up, man. Like, you don't have to keep struggling with this. You don't have to keep living your life in this. Like, come to me and I will give you my yoke, or I'll give you my life. So I think the other thing about the pain is that it's yours and it hurts and it's there, but it doesn't have to be yours. I think that's the great news about the gospel, is that Jesus says, whatever you're struggling with, man, you don't have to, it's not yours to own. It doesn't have to define you. Your identity doesn't have to be in that. But it can be in Jesus and the life that he gives. So I think the message from here would be, man, you don't have to define yourself with your pain. And I think the other message is pain is pain. And it does hurt, and it does sting. And the church was never meant to be a place where you had to pretend like it didn't exist. But the church is supposed to be a place where they would come into that and try to fix that with the gospel.